Hi, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the Tools for Perseverance, the Hope Week, the week on hope. This is Dr. Jessica Wright. I asked at the end of last session for you to look up different quotes about hope that inspired you, and I can't wait for you to share those in the chat box. I can't wait to read what it is you came up with. One of my favorite quotes is a song from my favorite artist, Jason Mraz. He has a song called the Sunshine Song. And one of the lines in that song is called, "If there's a light in everybody, send out your ray of sunshine." It's just a really lovely thought that each of us has a light inside, and then we can send it out. Now, this week, we are talking about hope not as an emotion, but rather as a skill. So we're going to talk about hope as a skill set that you can use to enhance your life. Last time we talked about how hope impacts different people, how it's been scientifically shown to impact different groups of people. We talked about people with spinal cord injuries having a better quality of life. We talked about people with childhood trauma being able to use the coping mechanisms better. We talked about people with who are, incarcerated for life. They have life sentences in prison, and they are able to participate more in personal development activities. We talked about veterans returning from war and how combat exposure has resulted in PTSD, and how hope is actually a mitigating factor in helping to have a reduction in symptoms from PTSD. So today what we're going to talk about is how to overcome barriers, right? So hope is the skill of overcoming obstacles and reaching your goal with a sense of agency, right? So it's continuing towards your goal with a sense of agency. In the skill of hope, there are 4 steps, and the first is to have goals, right? To have goals. Originally, when we wrote this, we rewrote the steps of hope to say hone your goal, right? Meaning to carefully craft and make sure that you are really specific about your goal. But at the end of the day, especially when crisis hits, when you have a block in the road, when you have a barrier, the really important component is to just have a particular goal. And let's talk about goals in specific. So what do we know from the science about how goals help us to move forward? So one of the best ways that goals help us to move forward is in relationship to time. So when you've got a goal that is time bound, right? Perhaps you've heard the concept of SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. It is helpful to have a really specific goal to get really concrete about what you're doing. But one of the most important components of, goal setting is having them is making them time bound. So for example, normally when I'm coaching in a regular life, when I'd be coaching a resident or a postdoctoral fellow or a junior faculty member on their goals, I might be describing, think about where you want to be in 5 years, and then look at what skills are missing between where you are now and where you want to be, and choose a couple skills that you want to work on this year. So things that over the next year you can accomplish, and then think about individual projects that you could work on today that would build those skills, so that there's a connection between what you're doing every day and where you want to be in 5 years. And there's lots of different flavors of goal setting and mentorship, and whatever flavor you choose, it's important to have concrete links between everything that you do every day and where you want to be in the future. But in this time of chaos and a little bit of, crisis that we are all experiencing with COVID-19, whether we're working from home or not, instead of looking at things by the month or by the year, we might be trying to have goals for the hour. Right? Sometimes everything can get so much that we really have to look at the immediate future, meaning I might not be able to think about what's going to happen next week because I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what the next days are going to plan out. So instead of having goals that are time bound towards the next month, the next 6 months. Try to have goals that are time bound for the next hour. What's going to happen in the next hour that's going to make me move towards my goal, right? And letting things evolve, right? So if you have a goal, I need to make this WebEx thing stop popping up. That's driving me crazy. So if your goal is, to stay healthy while working at home, you may not be able to, see what it's going to look like 2 months from now, but you will be able to say that in the next hour, instead of grabbing a snack, I'm going to try to have a dance party with my kids, right? Or if you're trying to take care of your mental health, instead of watching another TV show on Netflix, another episode of something on Netflix, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to call someone that I haven't talked to yet. So letting your goals evolve, shrink down to what's the next right step, what's going to happen in the next hour, and then expand out to, okay, what do I want to accomplish this week? And when we're in pain and when we're in crisis, you can be thinking about just the next minute, right? The next right step. So that's how we're going to let our goals evolve. So again, the 4 steps. 1, hone your goals, or in this case, we're just going to say have goals. Set a goal for yourself for today. Set a goal for yourself for this week. And in a minute, I'm going to have you write in the chat box, what is your goal for today? What is your goal for this week? Or what is your goal for this hour, right? What is it that you want to accomplish this hour? Tomorrow, we're talking about open your mind. An ambulance is driving by, so someone's getting help that they need. So we'll talk about open your mind, P, plan your success, E, enjoy the journey. That's the rest of this week. Your homework is going to be thinking about what goals will you set for your well-being, right? How are you going to keep yourself well during this time? And then how will those goals evolve? Try to write down, what your goal is going to be, how you're going to set goals for your well-being, and then specifically, how will those goals evolve? If you're able to write them down, and if you're able to share them with someone, we talked about social support last week. If you can share your goals with someone else, you are significantly more likely to achieve them or at least move towards a positive outcome. So go ahead and write a goal down, make a goal for yourself, and then think about how those goals are going to evolve over time. What barriers might you face, and how are you going to let those goals change? So that's all for today, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow.